Howdy everyone, let's see if I could do a proper intro for another type of beginner's guide. Now, Blood Bowl 3 has been out for a while. It's a new rule set compared to Blood Bowl 2, but some of the feedback from new people watching streamers is that we don't necessarily talk too much about what exactly we're doing. At least not in every step of the process, and I think this is partly because, well, at least me personally I did some on the napkins math, and I've streamed I think about 5,000 hours of like Blood Bowl content in Blood Bowl 1, Blood Bowl 2, and Blood Bowl 3 all together. And after a while, you get bad at just going through your thought process because it's tiring to do every time. With that said, when new people come into the game, they need that type of content. So, in this video series, I will start a new team, which I have. I made a nice team. Let me go over here. A nice orc team, sitting at... This is a fresh team. This is on my alt account. And I'm going to try my very best to play a game and explain everything as I go when it comes to general tactics, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why it matters. And we'll see if it makes sense. And if it does, please let me know in the comments down below. Now I'm gonna go spin this team and see if we get a game, and I'll see you in there. So this is our first game, and we are up against Underworld, which should be a decent matchup for us because they're gonna have more players, but they're not gonna have as much block, and I think block is very important starting out since it allows you to knock people down that don't have block, and that changes your block die from having 2 positive results to 3. Of course, the thing that also kind of messes with this is the fact that some of these players on my opponent's side are going to have dodge, which then removes one of the positive knockdown sides of the block die. First thing I do when we get into a new game is that I look at my opponent, especially now since I can see that I'm doing the preparation first. That means I have the higher team value, and I don't want to press purchase and be done with it just yet because we might jump out of... I'm handing it off to my opponent, and they might not buy anything, and then I can't have a quick look here. But we can see that they have 1 victory, so they've won 1 game, but the fact that this is 16-18 probably means they won in a concede. That does not matter much, but it's worth just noticing. The Rat Ogre has 7 SPP, so they're trying to get block. For that, you'd need 12 rather than 6, which is the first normal level up. Nothing on the Blitzer. Gutter Runner has block, meaning this is probably their ball carrier, because otherwise you wouldn't get SPP on the Gutter Runner. The Clan Rats don't have anything, the Thrower don't have anything. They have a full set of Snotlings, like a lot of them, and then 2 Underworld Goblins. They have an Apo, 2 dedicated fans, and 2 rerolls. We're not going to purchase anything, so now we click ready. And we can see that we're giving them 25, because that's the difference in team value. They bought an assistant coach, which is going to give them an extra bonus. So we won the toss, so we have to decide if we want to kick or if we want to receive. Now, normally I think I would kick here, but I'm going to receive because I want to punch them as much as I can. So my opponent is setting up for a semi-weighted defense. I've gone on the record several times, at least on stream, saying that I don't like this setup generally. It makes sense if you are faster than your opponent and your opponent won't be able to dodge away from you, which is possibly true here, but I feel like it gives me so much flexibility to decide on where I want to go. Because I can either knock these guys over here and take this side, or I just ignore these guys and just put everything into that. that side. Now, every half in Blood Bowl is, of course, 8 turns. I'm not planning on scoring until turn 8. Because scoring too quickly just means... it just means that they get a chance to score me. And I don't want to end this half 1-1. Since they have a really fast Gutter Runner that has movement 9, they can easily score in 1 turn or 2 turns. Now, it is snowing, which means that rather than normally you would rush on a 2+, and I'll talk about dice in a bit. But now with the Blizzard, we rush on a 3+, so it's much harder to get extra movement. And these guys overall, when we click on them, we can see that they're faster than us. This is the movement here, right? This is how many squares they can move, and then you can move 2 extra after that if you rush. But for each rush, you have to roll a die, and you fail if you roll a 1 normally. In this case, you fail if you roll a 1 or a 2. So whenever I say stuff like 2+, 3+, 4+, that means what I'm saying is I need to roll 4 or more on the die. Now, we got a prayer to Nuffle here, or let's see who actually got it. We can, if we press K, we can actually see it, and we can see that they got it. So if they foul and get an injury, they get SPP. So, I did a pretty defensive setup here. I didn't really want to go too hard here, because I don't think there's a need to. So, because, again, I'm going to score in turn 8. So, my first objective here, I think, is to actually put some extra strength around the ball. And then, I've done this. I don't think they can knock these guys down reliably. So I'm going to wait to pick the ball up, because this guy picks the ball up on a 3+, but because they have sure hands, they have a reroll, which means if I fail the first, I get to try again. And usually I use the term 1 in 9, because it means statistically 1 out of 9 times I will fail that pickup. It's unlikely, but it happens, 1 in 9 times. So to help, well, not to help, but before we go to that, we are going to try and knock these guys down. Now, these goblins here have dodge, but they also strength 2, and we're strength 3, so we don't need assists to deal with them. I'm going to follow up, because I want to base as many things as possible, because they're going to have a hard time. They either have to dodge or they have to do other mean things to deal with me. Here's a cheeky thing I can do. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to do the cheeky thing and then I will explain what I'm doing. Well, we didn't get it. So that also means we're going to move back here. And we're going to set up a very, very boring defensive line. And because this worked, and again, I'm not trying to score quickly, I'm just going to go defensively down here. We're slowly going to waddle down the pitch and see if we can just murder them. And that's going to be the end of our turn here. One of the things to note as well, that I think is important, is you can go into options, and you can go into game, and I think it's under readability. It's not. We'll see where it is then. Hang on. I wonder where it is. Should be here. Yes, if I click display probability, this would show the probability in percentages rather than what I have it set to currently, which is dice. Yep, so they went for this guy blitzed, knocked this guy over, and now they're going to foul it. Totally fine with that. They are giving me way too much space, because this is not to me, and that's why I moved all the other guys back a bit and left this guy stranded. Because if they want to waste their time trying to get rid of an orc lineman, that doesn't really matter to me. Again, I'm fine with that. And we're going to keep doing that. In the meantime, we are going to set up some more. We're going to run these guys up because they've gone over here. I want to now put like I want to have a presence on this side of the pitch. I want to control the pitch from there. As you can see, they haven't done much to deal with me. Or rather, they haven't based any of my dudes because they don't want to give me free blocks, which makes sense. I'm also rolling really poorly on these rolls. Luckily, I am blitzing with block because these. We should also mention. I'm gonna try and fall over here. I think instead. Holy shit! I made it. That was a 6, so that was unlikely. If I go any further, they can surf me, and they've already committed a lot to being able to blitz me and then foul me in this corner. So, okay, I'm not going to reroll this. I only have 2 rerolls, but I will try this. We fell over. That's fine, because we have a lot of strength. I was prepared to fall down here. So again, we're just trying to wait it out, get to turn 8, score on turn 8, and force them to try and do a 1-turner, which is harder if it's still a blizzard, but it might not be a blizzard after the kickoff, of course. So our secondary objective here, if you're ever able to, which we might not be able to, would be to try and blitz this gutter runner to injure it, because this is their scoring piece, right? Oh, okay, they rolled a 1. Interesting. They went for on a 1. This on a 1, the nega trait activates. We can talk more about that later on. So, what do I want to do now? I think we're gonna keep walking up over here because we can. Now, this is too early, and the problem with going up here this quickly is that they're more likely to be able to force me to score early, which I don't want. Another thing to think about is these guys are really easy to knock down, right? Because they're easy to hit because they're strength 1. But they have sidestep, which makes them annoying. I think I want to try and tie up all of the clan rats. And to do that, I think I'm gonna blitz here because it will let me, and I'll explain why I'm doing that after this has happened. Once again, I did it with one of my blitzers that has blocks, so I can use the both down. And that worked out for us. And we'll place this here. So I knocked this down so that this is a 3 die. Because this guy does not have block. Meaning it's much, like, this is only knocked down on a proper POW. Which on 3 dice is a 50-50. So I'm not expecting this to work, but it might. And it did. And we might get lucky because this has really low armor. We were not that lucky. I'm going to move this guy up here so that there's now a kind of a screen around the Underworld team and also cage. So I'm playing very slow and very defensive. And honestly, if I was streaming or not explaining all my movement for like some type of, for beginner play, I think I might do this slightly differently. My opponent is also playing very, like, passively. So I'm going to, like, do the same for that reason. But they're going to try and foul this now. Which I'd prefer they didn't. But they probably will. This is the setup for that, right? And they're probably using this guy. Yep. Because they have 5 extra snotlings. So fouling with a snotling is just pretty great. They... What the... Okay. I retract my previous statement. They roll double 2s. And if you roll a double on either the armor roll or the injury roll, you will get ejected. You can then argue the call, and on a 6 you come back. Otherwise, the guy's actually properly ejected, which is what happened here. So again, this is, I'm playing super duper duper safe. And the reason I'm playing super duper duper safe is because it's snowing. They can move the ball really fast. And if they get the ball from me, I'm unable to get it back reliably. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. We're going to stand that guy up. Now I'm tempted to foul this, but I don't think I will because I don't have any spare players. And I think I'm going to be okay regardless. So I think what I'm going to do instead, I am going to put this here, and that's going to stop this from blitzing anyone else. And it will give me a 2-die here as well, which seems pretty useful. And now the question is, am I going to commit the rest of these guys to blitz over here? And you know what? I think I will. My opponent, again, has been pretty... They're trying to hurt something and then essentially steamroll off of that. So I should just show that I'm like... I don't mind giving some hits back because our armor is so much higher than theirs. We should be able to withstand some of these hits, but we'll see what happens. And as long as they don't put any pressure on this cage, nice. Because again, they don't have, especially now that we KO'd their blitzer, the only block they have is this guy. So they only knocked me down on a 5 and a 6. Unfortunately, the Rat Ogre again rolled a 1. But the guy survived. So they get to hit that. And my opponent's doing the right thing, right? Where it's making sure he's got 2 assists with the blitz on the Rat Ogre. So that the Rat Ogre gets 3 dice rather than 2. And that's fine. And now, because for whatever reason they freed up all of my dudes, we are... how do I want to do this? So... I know I want to use this to hit something, but I'm probably hitting this so I can move away from the Rat Ogre, so they have to blitz with it. I think we're also changing this up to this, because it frees up this guy to be more annoying, but we're not going to move him yet. I'm trying to figure out where I want to blitz. And what I want to blitz. And I think... I know I'm blitzing here. We're going to take this hit. Yeah, we didn't get it, but we now get to move out of range, so the Rat Ogre has to blitz again. See where they want to go. They're clearly not by the computer at the moment, and that's fine. Well. Now, that means I think I want to hit this, because it'll tie up the clan rats, because the clan rats are my next step. Let's see if we can... Oh, we got rid of another one. Unfortunately, it's KO, so they can come back. Another tip... Or not a tip as such, but another thing you can do when you're unsure what your opponent has when it comes to like extra resources off the pitch. Of course, you can see all of the players. But you can also press K, and that brings this box up. And if you click this tab, you see what the latest like kickoff event was. This is the pair of Nuffle, and this is side effects on the pitch. There are currently none. And this is the staff. So here we can see if our opponent has any added cheerleaders or anything extra like that. Okay, and now the Rat Ogre's trying to get to here. They've realized I'm not going to be scoring. So from here on, we probably have to base the Rat Ogre. And we're going to base the Rat Ogre with one of our big unblockers. And the reason we're going to do that is because it's going to be harder for them to get 3 dice with the Rat Ogre that way. And they KO'd another one of their dudes. So that's lucky for us. And we're going to base here. We're going to do this. I'm going to move this around. This is the guy I want to base the Rat Ogre. And the only way to do that is to stand in this corner. So I am going to try and blitz this off. Nice. And since I got a knockdown, I'm going to follow up and then go do this to base the Gutter Runner as well. It's not going to do much, but it's going to force them to have to dodge. Then I'm going to move my big gun in here, and we're going to leave it at that. Now they can, of course, they can do stuff here. They can dodge away and they can remove one of these if they want, but they're not going to be able to blitz the ball carrier, at least not reliably. Of course, this can dodge in here with this Gutter Runner's agility of 2+. That would be a 5+ with a reroll, but then it would be 2 dice against, and I feel like that's probably gonna work in my favor. I'm willing to risk it. There are 3 sides of a die that this guy knocks this guy down, but since it's 2 dice and I get to choose, that's about a 75% chance. It's a 25% chance that both of those dice are bad for me. Yeah. So they blitzed here to get the Rat Ogre free because I based here. And now the Rat Ogre can move. And I'm going to let you guys in the comments think about if you think this is the correct move by my opponent. What is this Rat Ogre achieving here? And can I punish this somehow? And secondly, is it worth punishing? And I guess we'll find out. So first of all, let's do the things that are free to do, that don't require any rolls. And one of the things that's free to do currently is move this guy up. I want this guy further. I'd prefer to have this guy here, but that's too much movement. So instead, I'm going to put him here. So this is currently a 1-die. But I don't want it to be a 1-die. I'd like to knock this down, but it might, if I don't get a knockdown, it'll end up here, and that'll tie this guy up. So now I have to figure out what I want to do over here. And I think the first thing I want to do is take this hit. Because it'll free up both of these, and I don't have to worry about... now I know what this situation looks like. And that, I think, means I'm more inclined to do something like this. This will push this back. Yep. And now I can do this. And push this guy down here. I thought really hard about wanting to surf this, but since this knockdown didn't work, this didn't work, we're not going to do that. We are going to take the extra hits here and see what we can get. We got a push, so I'm really happy. I didn't try and do anything extra fancy. I want to get this guy into this area. So, it's turn 7. So, I am going to try and go for a dodge here. And I will use a reroll on it. And that's one of those things that's just nice to think about in advance. As you see, like, this game, like I said, I've played it really, really safe. And we're already on turn 7. It's almost to the point where I'm like, hang on. Is it turn... is it turn 7? Have I really managed to do that? So next turn, I'm scoring. But since I have 2 rerolls, I can be a bit greedy here. So, I think I should be a bit greedy. I don't know if you guys can see it. But, if I blitz this and push it here, I can then actually surf it. And I think that's worth trying. So, we're going to start here. We got the knockdown. That's really nice. Let's see. Let's put you there. And now I can put this guy here. Actually, that's one step too many. But I'm now, this is greedy, right? And the reason I'm doing it is because this way I'm sure to get an injury roll. If I was really trying to get the most out of most out of the injury or gaining SCP, I probably would have knocked it down with these guys. But I was like, I'm gonna maximize my chances to get a to get rid of the Gutter Runner, because the Gutter Runner is the thing that might possibly score here. And I do want to take this hit as well, but I'm really scared of this guy not having block. So if I add this, I have 5. If I add this, I have 6. That's not enough. I need double. But this guy can't reach. So, like, if I were to do this, right? You can see here, that's still a 2-die. I'm not going to risk it, because I want to play safe. So, we're going to run it in and get that touchdown on our thrower. Now, generally, I want SPP on my big guns, the Strength 4 Orcs and the Blitzers. But I don't mind getting some on my thrower as well, because the thrower doesn't have block. Unfortunately, they got a lot of dudes back, but they did not get they at least have some that didn't come back. Now I'm gonna set up a kind of a one-turn protection attempt, because I'm pretty sure they're going to try in one turn. However, this is not the most efficient one-turner or block. If we wanted to do that, we'd have to set it up here, but I'd move these guys over, and then I can show you later. The reason I'm not doing it is because generally that setup puts a guy here and a guy here, and this is in a surfing position, and I don't want to risk that, especially with this guy out. They lost some pieces here, and because it's snowing, it might be trickier for them to run all the way through, right? This also has to be chain pushed forward. The amount of squares to the end zone here, going from here to here, is 13. This guy has 11 built in, so he needs to be pushed twice. And the way you do that is with the Rat Ogre that has Frenzy. Comes in here, push, and then another push again. It's looking like... I guess they can also start with the Blitz here with 2 assists and then use the Rat Ogre later on. We should also, like, they haven't used any rerolls. I haven't used any rerolls. I think they came in with 3 as well. Yeah. So, it's been a very nice and safe first half. No one's done, like, really anything risky. So, we might see if we need to get Spice in the second half, right? We want to stop them from... We have 2 options in the second half. Option 1, stopping them from scoring. Option 2, stealing the ball. And actually, option 3, forcing them to score quickly and then scoring again. Stopping them from scoring is going to be hard because they have this gutter runner with agility 4 and movement 9. So this guy can run away from me. We're not as fast as them. Okay, I genuinely don't know what they're doing now. Okay, well, you always want to kick in the middle unless you actually have a player with a kick skill. Let's see where it goes. Oh, that's a good kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means this guy has to pass. Unfortunately, they got an extra reroll. I don't actually know how they're Oh, okay. So I think they're blitzing here, pushing this over here. Then this guy can push this guy again, and then this guy. This would then be here, and the Rat Ogre can then push it forward 1. I think, like, it needs to be pushed forward 2 squares. Okay, let's see if they get it. They got it, because now they don't want to knock me down, right? So, but okay, reroll comes out. Reroll's good. Okay, let's see if they get it. And here's the first push, and then the second push from the Rat Ogre. Well, first push forward. See if they get the second push here. I guess they might have realized they need to pass. Now, a pass, because it's snowing, doesn't actually affect the difficulty. It just affects the range. Okay, so they're doing a pass. Failed the catch. Reroll comes out. Reroll is good. Okay. Push is good, so they're fine. No, they're not. Reroll comes out. They didn't get it. And that's the end of the one-turn attempt. So they almost got it. They were... After that, there was the handoff, which is a 2+. And then it was... a few dodges that needed to be made, and 2 3+ rolls for the rush. But we won the first half. We're happy about that. And, you know what? Maybe this is not the end of the world. Okay. Well, let me know if that was helpful and you want more of this type of content. This has mainly been a way for me to kind of have this be something that you can give coaches that are not as experienced, that are starting playing either Blood Bowl 3 or tabletop and just wants to think a bit about strategy. Like, there's a lot of rules and stuff I didn't cover, but my intention here was not so much, oh, let's go over all of the rules, nor was it go over all of the tactics that goes into a turn, but just kind of analyzing why I was doing, what I was doing, and hopefully that came across. Heck, we won the game and we did it in half the time.